The world of classic rock has lost one of its most innovative and foundational voices. Walter Parazaider, the legendary saxophonist, clarinetist, and flutist who was a founding member of the iconic rock band Chicago, has passed away at the age of 81. His death came after a long and valiant battle with Alzheimer's disease, a condition he publicly announced in April 2021, 6 years before his passing. He died on Wednesday, June 17, 2026, at 2:10 a.m. under hospice care with his beloved wife Jacqueline at his bedside. His daughter, Felicia Helen Parazaider, shared the heartbreaking news on Facebook, expressing her love with the words, "I love you, Poppy, my pal. You colored our world." Walter Parazaider was born on March 14, 1945, in Maywood, Illinois, a small town just outside of Chicago. And from the very beginning, he was drawn to the world of music, to the craft of performance, and to the kind of connection that comes from playing an instrument that speaks directly to the soul. He didn't start out as a rock star. He didn't become an overnight sensation. He started as a young boy in Illinois who loved the saxophone, who practiced every day, and who believed that he could make it to the highest level. He was not the kind of musician who needed to be the loudest or the most aggressive to win. He was the kind of musician who could win by being smarter, by being more consistent, and by being more patient than everyone else. That was why he became a founding member of Chicago, and that was why fans fell in love with him. His breakthrough to professional fame came in 1967, when he formed the band Chicago, originally known as Chicago Transit Authority, with fellow musicians Peter Cetera, Robert Lamb, and Lee Loughnane. He quickly established himself as one of the most talented and consistent woodwind musicians in the industry, playing saxophone, clarinet, and flute, and creating the signature sound that would define Chicago for decades. He was known for his smooth, melodic style, his ability to blend rock with jazz, and his knack for finding the perfect note that would make every song feel like a story being told by a trusted friend. He was not the kind of musician who needed to shout to be heard. He didn't need to make grand gestures to be remembered. He just needed to be present, to be real, and to be honest in the way that only a true artist can be. That was why he became a legend, and that was why fans fell in love with him. During his decades with Chicago, Walter Parazaider played on some of the most iconic and enduring songs in rock history. He was the voice behind 25 or 6 to 4, Make Me Smile, Color My World, Hard Habit to Break, and You're Not Alone, songs that became anthems for generations of listeners who felt like they were the only ones who understood the world. He was not just a player. He was a leader, a mentor, and a friend who passed on his love of music to millions of people around the world. He made every song feel real, made every performance feel important, and made the idea of art feel possible. That's the kind of impact he had on his fans, and that's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by tragedy, no matter how painful it may be. What made Walter Parazaider so special was not just his music, but the person he was. He was known for his dedication to the band, his love for his family, and his willingness to give back to the community that gave him so much. He was the kind of man who never stopped caring about music, who never stopped giving back to the industry that gave him so much, and who never stopped believing in the next generation of musicians. He was not just a saxophonist. He was a teacher, a mentor, and a friend who passed on his love of music to millions of people around the world. He made every practice feel real, made every performance feel important, and made the idea of art feel possible. That's the kind of impact he had on his fans, and that's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by tragedy, no matter how painful it may be. Walter Parazaider continued to tour extensively with Chicago until his retirement from touring in 2017, when he was forced to step back due to a heart condition that made it impossible for him to continue performing at the level he demanded of himself. In April 2021, several years after his retirement from touring with Chicago, he publicly announced that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a revelation that deeply affected fans and the music community. When asked about his health in 2026, Lee Loughnane, his longtime bandmate, said, "I don't think he's doing well. He fought valiantly against Alzheimer's, but unfortunately, it came to an end tonight. The confirmed cause of Walter Parazaider's death was complications from Alzheimer's disease, which he had been battling for 6 years before his passing. His wife, Jacqueline, informed TMZ that he succumbed to the illness, and she was present at his side during his final moments. Those words are not just about grief. They're about love, about memory, and about the kind of bond that can never be broken, even by tragedy. For fans, Walter Parazaider's legacy will live on in the songs that defined a generation, in the albums that still bring people to their feet, and in the quiet moments when they listen to his saxophone and feel like they're being hugged by a voice that has been there for them through everything. He was not just a musician. He was a companion, a friend, and a source of comfort for millions of people around the world. He made love songs feel real, made heartbreak feel bearable, and made hope feel possible. That's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by tragedy, no matter how painful it may be. His voice will continue to echo through the decades, through the radio, through the tracks, and through the hearts of everyone who ever fell in love to his music. Walter Parazaider married Jacqueline Bryce Gowdy in 1966, and they had 2 daughters together, Laura and Felicia. Notably, he is the only founding member of Chicago who has remained with his first spouse, a testament to the strength of their relationship and the love that they shared for over 60 years. In 2004, he made his home somewhere in Nevada, where he lived with his wife and enjoyed the quiet moments that meant so much to him. As of 2024, Walter Parazaider's net worth was estimated at $25 million, a reflection of the success of his career, the enduring popularity of Chicago's music, and the impact he had on the industry. He was someone who believed in lifting up the next generation, in giving back to the community, and in making sure that the people who came after him had the opportunities he had. That kind of generosity, that kind of openness, is rare in the music industry, and it is the kind of generosity that earns love, not just from fans, but from everyone who knew him. The music community has been flooded with tributes from fellow musicians, from fans, from critics, and from people who grew up listening to his music and finding comfort in his voice. Some have shared stories of the first time they heard 25 or 6 to 4. Others have talked about the way his music made them feel when they were going through the hardest times of their lives, and still others have simply written that his voice was the soundtrack to their lives. Those stories are not just about music. They're about the way Walter Parazaider made people feel, the way he made them believe in themselves, and the way he made them feel less alone. If you've ever been moved by Walter Parazaider's music, if you've ever listened to his saxophone and found comfort in his words, or if you've ever been touched by the way he brought so many songs to life, take a moment to honor his memory. Please like this video, and if you enjoy stories about the lives, legacies, and losses of the artists who shape our music, consider subscribing to this channel. Together, we can keep remembering the voices that taught us how to love, one song at a time.